Next, a meeting of two teams with long and proud histories. Burnley and Preston were two of the founder members of the Football League. The Clarets were hoping to add pressure on Darren Ferguson's team, who have lost 3 of their first 4 league matches. Commentary comes from Peter Brackley.
Wallace with a corner. The keeper stayed at home. Oh, surely it was over the line. Iwalumo. It was in. And they're off to a flying start. Chris Iwalumo scores for the 3rd home game in a row. One by Parkin. Great chance here. And an equaliser. Barton has got it on 23 minutes. And Darren Ferguson's team are right back in this derby. It's a useful strike too, and it just clipped the frame of the goal then from Tracy. So they have certainly bounced back here in some style, Preston North End. Really good response from them. Parkin trying to knock it down into the path of Parry. Off the post and in. Tracy, 2-1 Preston. They have turned this one right around. First touch took him beyond the defender, and with the second, he's beaten the keeper in off the upright. Chance for Marnie, good strike too, and it's beaten away by Lonergan. He really got hold of that one. That's Tracy's ball in, and Parkin. John Parkin on the end of it, but it was a brilliant ball played in by Keith Tracy. Well, they're in dreamland now. A goal down, now they lead 3-1. Meantime, he's reached for the notebook. Well, Billy Jones was cautioned earlier and has now been sent off. Alexander. Good strike, good goal. Oh, Iwalumo. It's a beauty. And they are back in it. And suddenly the mood changes again at Turf Moor. What a good hit this is. Alexander. The top and in! Iwalumo! It's 3-3! Oh, free header! It is for Rodriguez! Goodness me! What a finish to this game! Absolutely amazing!
Bitterly disappointed. The game we're in complete control. We've dominated the game, the only team that played any football. The referees won it for Burnley, simple as that. In all my time in football, I've never seen a sending off for that. An absolute disgrace of a decision.
An incredible game. It's one of not many games I've been involved in like that, but as I said, it's great for the spectators, but from the manager's point of view, we're very disappointed because there's too many negatives that's come out of the game, but we'll certainly take the big positive out of it, and hopefully that'll be something that we'll look back on and think, well, that might have been the catalyst for us to go on and do well.
A charm offensive to try and keep Nigel Adkins at Scunthorpe? Probably not. The bright lights of the St Mary's Stadium are drawing him in, but here with Scunny he was looking for a 3rd straight win in all competitions. The Iron were unlucky not to take the lead in this game, David James proving he's still a world-class shot stopper. Sam Togwell, the man denied. Bristol City need to get their skates on this season, still without a win, but in this game they took the lead against the run of play. Albert Adoma, starting in his own half, began and finished the move that put the Robins 1-0 up at half-time. Adoma was playing for Barnet in League 2 last season. No surprise that City snapped him up. Luck wasn't on Scunthorpe's side though, as Michael O'Connor found out when his deflected free kick went the wrong side of the bar. Playing on the break, the visitors perhaps should have increased their lead. Jonathan Stead failing to put the game out of sight as he continues to look for his first goal since moving from Ipswich. It was down to David Clarkson to finally settle the nerves for City as they sealed their first win of the season in the 5th minute of injury time. For Adkins, a disappointing result to what could be his final game. His future could be resolved imminently.
Now, obviously, I think decisions need to be made because Scunthorpe have got a game on Tuesday. They've got to make sure there's direction and there's not enough scenarios going on and speculation. And exactly the same for Southampton. They've just found themselves in the bottom 4 of League One now. So they need to quickly make sure that they've got a leader in place to drive that football club forward, because it's a massive football club and it's a great opportunity for whoever goes in there.
Their away record read no points and no goals. Swansea were at Leeds, and a quick look at the record books didn't offer much hope to the Welsh team. They hadn't won at Ellen Road in more than half a century. But Leeds have often been slow started this season, and they gifted the Swans the lead after 13 minutes. Richard Naylor's slip let in Stephen Dobbie, and he took full advantage. But Leeds have looked far from overawed since returning to the Championship. No defeat since the opening day, and they were almost back in this one thanks to Brad Johnson just before half-time. The midfielder could hardly have gone closer, and 10 minutes after the break he had another chance to claim his first of the season after Doris de Vries had done well to keep out Naylor's header. This time Johnson made sure. Leeds level then, and looking to win from a losing position for the 3rd time this season. The impressive Max Gradle was again involved. Lloyd Sam and Neil Kilkenny both had shots blocked, but Luciano Becchio beat de Vries at the 3rd time of asking. So Leeds' unbeaten home league run against Swansea stretches to 14 matches.
Delighted that we've showed sort of resilience and character to come from behind to win another game. It's obviously something we don't want to be doing too often because there's some good teams in the Championship, and you have to make sure you give yourself the opportunity to win the game.
We just had an 8-minute spell around the 57th minute and the first goal, and then obviously that changed a little bit of the momentum and got a quick second goal after that. So no, in terms of the result, it was disappointing, but again, our performance level was very good.
Both Norwich and Barnsley have been unbeaten since opening day defeats. Tykes boss Mark Robbins returning to one of his former clubs. And his team stunned the hosts on the stroke of half-time. Jay McKevley with a free header, his first goal for the club since signing in the summer. 3 of Norwich's 6 league goals before this game have come in stoppage time. It wasn't left so late this time. Stephen Foster's own goal levelling in the final 20 minutes. Sub Anthony McNamee had put in the cross for that one. He did the same again 10 minutes later. Chris Martin made sure of another win for the Canaries. He placed his shot 2-1, and Norwich are gaining confidence by the week.
Doncaster's only win at Vicarage Road was back in 1960 on their first league visit. Watford were hoping that bleak run would continue as they look for a first home victory this season. Not the ideal start, though, for the Hornets, who found Donny devastating on the counter-attack. It was a fine piece of hold-up play from John Oster, who played in Simon Gillett, to score his first goal in nearly 4 years. Watford had failed to score in their last 2 league matches, but striker Marvin Sordell's introduction in the second half would prove telling for Malcolm Mackay's side. It took him just 8 minutes to claim his first league goal of the season. The second came 7 minutes later, Sordell showing enough strength to turn Gillett and a clinical finish to beat Neil Sullivan on the keeper's 600th club career appearance. Watford fans were ready to celebrate a first win in 5, but that proved premature. George Friend stealing in the 3rd minute of stoppage time to nick a point. The Hornets are developing a worrying habit of conceding late on. 2-2.
After a promising start under George Burley, things have looked bleak for Crystal Palace in recent weeks. The Eagles went to Reading looking to arrest an away record that hadn't seen them win a point on the road this season. Reading in no mood for any favours either. Just before half-time, Shane Long's turn of pace caught out Paddy McCarthy, who hauled down the striker to give the home side a penalty. New boy and dead ball specialist Ian Hart hasn't been at the club long enough to request spot kick duties. Instead, Long himself stepped up to score his first of the season. Palace missing Edgar Davids for personal reasons, but Burley did start with new loan signing James Vaughan. the on-loan Everton striker almost repaying his faith with the equaliser. But just after the hour mark, it was déjà vu for the Eagles, as Shane Long was again brought down for the second spot kick of the match. Julian Bennett, the Palace defender. This time Hart did take it, and he made no mistake, opening his account at the first time of asking. There was extra gloss to the scoreline when Jimmy Kebe wrapped up all 3 points, and the Royals' first home win in League or Cup this season. Their campaign now up and running, Palace's seems to have stalled.
So wins for QPR and Cardiff keep them at the top of the Championship. The 3 promoted teams, Norwich, Leeds and Millwall, all flying high. Preston's defeat at Burnley sees them drop into the bottom 3. Portsmouth and Leicester each earned a point, but stay stranded at the bottom of the table. In League One, Peterborough were defending a 100% home record when they took on Oldham at London Road. But the Latics had yet to be beaten in League One this season. A thunderous header from Richie Jones, his first goal for Oldham, had the Latics convinced they could continue their unbeaten start. A belief which grew even stronger 7 minutes before half-time as Kieran Lee found Chris Taylor, who then found the gap between 2 defenders. Posh 2-0 down for the second home league game running. Last time, though, against Huddersfield, they recovered to win 4-2. So the alarm bells must have been ringing for Oldham when James Wesolowski pulled a goal back with the teams about to go to the break. Just after the hour mark, the comeback was accomplished. Chris Whelpdale's huge throw flicked in by Aaron McLean. His 6th goal of the season, and now Peterborough really had the bit between their teeth. When Lee tried to play his way out of trouble, it proved to be a big mistake. George Boyd's finish was unstoppable. Their impressive feat against Huddersfield repeated as Dave Hibbert took the score to 4. Posh had hit that many at home twice already this campaign, but there was still time to break new ground. Deep into stoppage time, Ruben Hazel hacked down Boyd, which put Grant McCann on the spot. Another fearsome attacking display, and no apparent hangovers from last year's relegation. That win lifts Peterborough to the top of League One. Carlisle won 1-0 at Sheffield Wednesday, while Bournemouth beat Dagenham and Redbridge. Managerless Southampton continue to struggle. The Saints lost 1-0 at home to Swindon and drop into the relegation positions. Leyton Orient also lost. In League Two, Gillingham manager Andy Hessenthaler told his players to grow up after last week's 5-4 defeat at Bury. The Gills faced high-flying Shrewsbury and took the lead thanks to Chris Palmer on 12 minutes. The Gills had already missed 1 penalty when Craig Disley brought down Danny Spiller on the hour. Adebayo Akinfenwa had wasted the previous opportunity, so goalscorer Palmer took his turn, a 2nd of the game and 4th of the season. Shrewsbury's unbeaten run coming to an end. That result meant that Torquay's goalless draw with Accrington was enough to lift them to the top of League Two. Rotherham drew 3-3 with Burton. Bradford drew with Stockport. Hereford lost at home to Oxford. Morecambe managed a 1-1 draw with Chesterfield, but remained bottom of the Football League. Our goal of the week comes from League One. It was scored by Leyton Orient's Dean Cox, but it wasn't enough to prevent a defeat for his team against Huddersfield. Next week on the show, Nottingham Forest hope to get their season up and running at Hull. And Paulo Sousa welcomes former club QPR to his struggling Leicester. See you then.